We are a PAT company, and our strategy is cost leadership, which focus on traditional and low end. We choose this strategy because we believe that cost leader can sustain in the business because the customers prefer cheap products. We also believe that in the near future, it is easier for us to update since it is low cost and we have technology required through automation. In the end, if the market stops growing, we think the one with the highest market share will survive. Here is our overall performance. We have great maximum profit points, which is good, and some goods has not been stocked out. We have two products, which is low end and traditional, with the 100% of customer awareness. Let's go into detail. Here is our market share data. We hold more than 20% in traditional and about 22.8% in low end. For the high end, we only have 15.8% because we stock, which is our fault. And about the performance segment and size, we only have more than 20%. Overall, I think that we are in good position, but we still need to capture more market share. Here are some financial statistics to show our performance. We are proud to say that we have the highest market share and highest sales and profits in some ratio, except for leverage. Our sales is more than 162 million. Our profits is more than 14 million. Return on asset on sales is 8.9%. Asset turnover is 1.2. Return on asset is 10.6, and return on equity is 17.9%. In production, we produce the highest level in among all companies. But we think that we still have to increase our capacity because our second shift usually between 50 and 100%. And we also have to try to make automation for traditional and low end to reach 7 and 8. Unfortunately, our able and up stock out, and ADAM only have a few products left, so we think that we have to have better prediction.
So this is our review and result evaluation on the strategy we used in round 1 and round 2. So basically our goals are to achieve positive profit, positive cash flow, and to achieve 20% overall market share, where 15% for high-end products and 20% or more for the rest of the product lines. So far, we have achieved a profit of $15,000 in round 2. The closing cash position in round 1 was almost $11,000, and this number has increased to almost $20,000 in round 2. Market share, the overall market share we have achieved 21.2%, and for high-end product we have achieved 15.8%, and the rest were over 20%. So far, all the goals that we have set before has been completely achieved by our decision. So the decision we made are, first of all, we chose strategy. We chose that the cost leadership, and we focused on low-end and traditional product, and we maintain to cut our cost and capture our market share by increasing automation level, focusing on maintaining our product age and keep the price really low for the low end and the traditional product. Because the age and the price are the most two important criterion for customer to buy product in these segments. And the third thing for us to cut costs is to sell our capacity. But due to the lack of production capacity, we have to buy back some capacity to increase the production level in round 2. We have also maintained our market share by increasing our sales budget and promotion budget to increase the customer accessibility for the traditional and the low end. We concentrate to promote the traditional and the low end, and the other product lines we keep the cost, the budget lower because we do not focus much on those segments. And we decrease the price of those products. Every product line we decrease $1 in the price every year. And to increase the efficiency of our company, we spend 5,000 on recruitment, and we train our labor for 80 hours, the maximum time, to increase the efficiency and the skills. And even though we have achieved successfully our goals, but there are many surprises occurred to us. First is that the high end, the performance, and the size segments also did really well, even though we don't spend much promotion budget and sales budget on them, but they exceeded our expectation for the market share of their market share, and these has led us to the inventory that has been stocked down. So these are the problems that we're facing, and Phuong will tell you how to solve and what we have learned from this problem.
Lesson we learned from our past performance and our decision for the next round. So as you can see, our leverage is 6.2/8. In the first round, it's 8/8. So we have to increase the leverage. Our stock out cost is 2.6/5 because we stock out the traditional, the high end, and the performance products. So we have to forecast better for that. And for one thing is that our customer accessibility is 0/5. So we have to increase our customer accessibility. So the lesson we learned is that first we have to forecast better. We use the actual and potential market share to forecast, which should include the customer December survey score. So we want to have no stock out the next year. So we also use the long-term debt. We want to retire some share, because if we retire some share, so our leverage is going to higher. We also want to have higher automation, and because of that, we will have higher contribution margin. And last thing, we want to spend more for sales budget for all the product to improve our customer accessibility. So I'm going to talk about the decision for next round. The R&D decision, so as you know, Arcade is our low-end product. We're going to keep all the number of Arcade the same, all the size, performance, and BTF. We want to lower the size and higher performance for all the products except for Arcade. We want to not keeping any product review after 1st of July, because the second half of the year we want to sell the product that already been reviewed. Also, we want no change for MBTF. We have maximum MBTF for the last 2 rounds, and no change for that. We also want to introduce new product for high end in the year 4, because our market share in high end is pretty low, and we will want our new product to compete in traditional and low end product, which we are having a lot of market share. So marketing. So one of the things marketing is that we have to lower the price for every product $1. So in order to keep our product competitive, we're going to lower $2 for the low end if we find that our competitor lowered their price. Also, we're going to increase promotion budget for high-end size and performance because their customer awareness is pretty low, and with the increase is better. We also want to decrease promotion budget for low end and traditional for 1,400 because they have reached 100% awareness. Now if we want to sustain that, we only need this money. So we forecast we're going to base on actual potential market share and customer December score. Also, I'm just going to increase that. We're going to spend more on the accessibility, 2,000 for every product on accessibility, which means it's a sales budget. For the production, so we're going to have to buy more capacity for the new product in round 3, sorry, because we're going to introduce new product in round 4. We're going to buy more capacity for high-end traditional because we have maximum their capacity, we have maximum their production in the second round, and we're still not keeping up with our actual, with our potential market share. So we'll increase more. We increase automation of low end to 9.5 and traditional to 8.0 because we believe that the low end and the traditional we're going to not review the product much in order to keep the edge high. So we'll increase that. We don't have to worry much about the R&D of these two. And we come up with a new forecast for production. Production we need equal with our forecast multiply with 1.25 minus the closing inventory. So at first we put this number 1.1, but we believe that our product is still stocked out, so we need to increase to 1.25 in order to capture more market share and not having any stock out. So about the finance, we're going to retire some share, and now we're going to use our finance. If we do lack of cash, we're going to use the long-term debt because we don't have to pay the principal, and now the interest rate is going down. So because using it, we can have higher leverage. For the human resource manager, we in the second round we have already spent 5,000 on recruiting spend and 80 hours training, and we're going to keep maintaining that with the maximum spending we spend for HR in order to keep the efficiency. One more thing is about for TKM, for CPI we're going to spend 1,500. So CPI will help us to decrease the material cost and the labor cost. That's our problem, we're going to decrease our cost. So for the UNEP green program and channel support system, we also spend 1,500. We believe that's the maximum of these two products. The green program will decrease the waste as well, but this two product is going to increase the effectiveness of the sales budget, and therefore our sales, our customer accessibility rate is going higher. For the concurrent engineering, we spend 1,500 maximum because we want to decrease the time for R&D, so we still want to change some R&D of traditional. We're not going to change on the low end, but because right now our automation rate is pretty high, so we're going to use this in order to decrease the time of the R&D. So that's our decision next round, and we'll keep going with this formula. And thank you for listening.